9th, 2008, and I'm in Beijing, China. I'm at the Olympics, and I'm about to compete in fencing. I'm in the warm-up area, and we're lining up single file to walk into the arena. I'm right here, my coach is behind me, my opponent, Irina Wyszkowska from Poland, and her coach are right in front of me. No one's speaking. But I think to myself, all right, this is the moment you've trained for all of your life, 17 years. You've got this. And I'm ready. I have my mask under my left arm, I have my saber in my right hand, and I've got my armor. And the armor I'm talking about is not my fencing kit. It's armor I've been polishing for years and years and years. And it's called pleasing people and trying to be perfect. So now we're in Germany, where I grew up, to immigrant parents. My father's Irish, my mother's Scottish, and that's also called early onset identity crisis. So I'm the middle child of 3, and as you can imagine, raising 3 children in a foreign country while my father's starting his own business, that was a lot of work for my parents. And they did their best to provide as many opportunities as they could. And they did. We had everything we wanted. But it came at a price. There was a lot of tension and chaos in the home. And that just came from the pressure they were under. But little, empathic Siobhan really couldn't cope with the pressure. So that's where the armor was born. I needed a place to go that I could shrink into when I didn't want to rock the boat, because I did not want to say or do anything that would add to the pile. And I needed a place where I could grow some thick skin. So in school, I was a straight A student. It's 12th grade, and the older I get, the harder it is to balance my fencing practice, traveling for competition, and keeping up all my A's, right? So I have a 3-piece clay art project due at the end of the week. I had a month to do it, but given my schedule, I'm just now getting to it. But no problem. I can work late every night after practice, and I'll get it done. And I do. I always do. Get it done Thursday morning. Perfect, right? The clay can dry for a day, and I'll wrap it up and take it to school tomorrow. So I go to school, I go to practice, I come home, I'm ready to pack up my clay project, and it's completely collapsed. And I lose my shit. I mean, when I say I lose my shit, I'm wailing, I'm crying, I have no perspective, because I just could not fathom not being perfect and not having something to turn in tomorrow. So now I'm back at the Olympics. They called my name, we're heading into the arena, and there's thousands of people cheering, which, if you're a fencer, and there's a few in the audience, it's not something that you're used to. And yeah, but what I remember most in that moment is the tension on the floor. I mean, I could cut it with my saber. So I step onto the piste, and here I am in my shiny armor, ready to perfectly please my father, my family, my coach, and the country of Ireland. So I hear the umpire say, "En garde, prêt, allez." And I blank. 1 minute and 32 seconds later, I step back off the piste, and my Olympic dream's over. I'm heartbroken, and I'm really humiliated. And here I am, left with a large dent in my shiny armor. It's now 2013. I'm living in a small apartment on the Upper East Side of New York. And I've since quit fencing, which was another identity crisis. But I managed to get a full ride to graduate school, a 6-figure job in New York City, and my first promotion. I mean, I was really trying to fix that armor. But now that I sit here in my small apartment, and all my basic needs had been met. I have a job, I have money, I'm no longer answering to my parents, or my coach, or my country. I sit here and wonder, well, what's next? I have a great resume, and by society's standards, I'm really successful, but I'm not connecting to any of it. I never even stopped to celebrate any of my achievements. Kind of feels like the resume isn't mine. So now what? Another promotion? I just couldn't derive any more purpose or value from just living for that. So then my Saturn returns. And for all of you astrology lovers out there, you'll know in your late 20s, that's a time for a wake-up call, when all of your life choices that you've made to date, especially the ones that aren't in line with your true purpose, will be revealed to you. So during that time, I start to meditate, I start to take self-help courses and read books. I really needed to go beyond that, like under that armor, and see what was living there. And what emerged for me at that time is that I was really trying to answer 3 main questions. 1, who am I when I'm not defined by all of my achievements and you strip away all the titles and all the labels? What do I feel that's not informed by my external environment or opinions of others? And what do I desire that's not driven by pleasing other people? So by going through this healing journey, what emerged for me is that I realized that I am a woman in total conscious healing. Now I'm going to say that again. I am a woman in total conscious healing. Which means that I'm a witch. Yes. So, in my own healing journey, and in the work that I do with my clients as an intuitive consultant and transformation coach, I have come up with three things that are in my conscious healing elixir, right? 3 ingredients. The first ingredient, which emerged from the question of who am I, is awareness. Once I gained awareness, I was able to recognize my armor. I was able to recognize the stories I was telling myself and the limiting beliefs I was holding on to. And also recognize the behaviors and habits that I had that kept shining that armor. And what a relief it was to just acknowledge that I could be human. Now, I would like all of you can keep your eyes open or closed, whatever you're most comfortable with, just to contemplate a few questions I'm about to pose to you. Do you know your armor? What is it protecting? And are you wearing it right now? The second ingredient that emerged from the question of what do I feel was my intuition. Once I was able to tap into my emotional body, get in touch with my feelings, and expand my senses, I discovered my psychic abilities, which you might imagine and opened a whole new world for me, right? But just being in touch with my intuition allowed me to set healthier boundaries. It also allowed me to make decisions that were more in line with my true path. So I'm going to ask you a few questions around your intuition. What do you feel right now? Can you name the feeling? And where in your body is it manifesting? And the third ingredient that emerged from the question of what do I desire is turn on. So once I was no longer worried about pleasing other people, and I'd learned to tap into my emotional body, I discovered pleasure for myself. And I don't just mean having a great sex life. No, I mean really understanding what your desire is and how to connect to your sensuality. Because without that, you can't live a fully turned on life. So now I'm going to ask you a few questions around your pleasure. What do you desire? Do you derive pleasure from mundane day-to-day activities? And in which areas of your life are you rejecting pleasure? So, I know I'm not the only witch in this room. And I also know I'm not the only one with armor. You can have armor around your finances, your career, your family, your relationships. I still have armor around sharing my voice and speaking my truth. So I'm choosing to take off this armor by healing consciously with you tonight. Growing up, I built armor that made me really successful, but it left me humiliated and heartbroken. Then I took my formula for success into my professional world, and it left me burnt out and without clear direction. So through my work, my own work, and the work with my clients, I'm convinced that we can all take a step forward towards our conscious healing by just acknowledging who we are, what we feel, and what we desire. So with that, I would like to invite any woman in this room who identifies as being a woman in total conscious healing, or any man who's healing his feminine, or is just here in support of women who are healing, to please stand. And on a count of 3, I would like all of you and all of us together to acknowledge our witchiness by saying, I am a witch. 1, 2, 3. I am a witch. I think we can do better, and let's shout it so everybody knows what's happening here. All right? 1, 2, 3. I am a witch. Let's get to work, witches.